Alright, guys. MAXPAX in the bottom right side of the grand finals here. CLEM in the top left. It is a best of 5 grand finals, and that SCV is dodging that probe. Are you an NG Bay boy? This seems way too late to be an NG Bay boy. Is he going for like the NG Bay just as the Nexus is about to go down? This is a very late SCV for an NG Bay block, and yet it looks like it is that off of a double gas. Oh, CLEM. Tricky build order. Sometimes players will check down here at a minute 5, minute 10. Look at that. MAXPAX just goes to take his third. He's so used to being blocked. This is, of course, the grand finals of the Wardy Mondays 84, I want to say. Something like that. Best of 5 grand finals. These guys have had some bangers recently. MAXPAX has added a good bit of variety to his play over the last few years. CLEM is at an all-time level of frustrated with the matchup. He just feels like... I think for him, when a matchup's fresh, the maps are fresh, he can kind of find all these little openings in the Protoss defenses. And as time goes on, the percentages of that succeeding goes down, and he stops believing in his aggression and his multitasking, and starts to get a little bit more defensive or passive, and kind of feels like that's the best way to play. And he hates playing defensive. You know, it's clever. He loves to attack. He loves to attack. That's why he hated PvT so much. He feels like when he plays Protoss versus Terran, he can get on the map with Stalkers and Zealots and run around and keep making plays with his multitasking, which he was struggling with as a Terran player. In TVT specifically, the defensive power of Ravens and tanks. Command Center is going to go down about 230, guys. This is not a very quick Command Center. You can see it goes down now, as it is 2 Reapers and a Hellion, and now even a 3rd Reaper before going for it. So pretty big commitment to Reaper Hellion here. MAXPAX is going to come across with the Adept. He's got a Twilight Council behind. The 3rd base is quite vulnerable. Okay, Adept shades towards the main base. Does run away. Twilight Council's almost finished. Oh, Reaper Hellion goes after the Adept. Hello. That Adept taking some damage. Does go down. Hellion's happy to trade some hit points for that. There is a shield battery in the 3rd, aka the natural, the very exposed natural on the normal 3rd base location, and one going up in the main. With only 1 Stalker out, he'll have 2 Stalkers against this. I don't know, it still feels good for MAXPAX. Especially with that Hellion not repairing. I think shield batteries are just so crucial. And if you skip on the shield batteries, this sort of pressure can be amazing. The Stalker moves away, though, at possibly the worst possible time. That Stalker's going to try and get to the safety of the battery, and it doesn't quite get there. It was so close. A grenade here would be excellent. I think he should probably use a grenade to zone the Stalker, but as it is, you can see the shield battery is going to be there. It's hard to heal, though, especially when you bounce them away from that. He's going to go back to that 3rd base. Warp gate's ready. Stalker will warp in on the high ground. Let me try and damage the Stalker before it can start healing. Of course, it does have 1 armor, but the shields do not have that armor. And the Reaper Hellion will have to back away. Overall, some decent little scrap damage, I guess. Like chip damage, you know. Gets a couple probes, gets a Stalker, a bit of mining time. It's something. The economy, though, feels decent enough for MAXPAX, as he's now going up to... Whoa, 4 gates. Okay, 2 more gateways, so 4 gates and a Robo. Hello. Double mine drops can have some heavy lifting to do. Of course, 2nd barracks is now finished. Siege tanks building. No 3rd barracks, no engineering bay, and no 3rd gas just yet. But the SCV production is solid, as is the marine tank production. I think this probe or this pylon might spot this medevac. Does MAXPAX see it? Not quite, and that medevac can easily steer around this pylon, which it does. So he's going to get into the main unscouted. Luckily for Max, he does have 2 Stalkers there. Does he pull probes to attack this? No. Okay, look at that. Widowmine goes for the burrow unburrow. Stalker gets targeted there. The blink to dodge. Oh, he keeps retargeting on this side. He's trying to get this to not waste its shot. Is CLEM? The medevac goes down, as do the other 2 Widowmines. The Reaper Hellion's looking to deny the 3rd. Not quite able to get it. He's not gonna get anything, is he? Oh, he even targeted the right side. Does get the probe, but the Widowmine goes down. The Reaper Hellion also gonna get blinked on to shut down that. And of course, the Stalkers and the Warp Prism barreling across the map. It's all about the defensive side of things now. There's going to be a hole between the buildings there. I guess that add-on will seal it. Needs a tank up here. Got to be worried about the Prism ferrying units across that gap. This tank is also not sieged. CLEM needs to knuckle down. That tank's slightly too far forward. That should be slightly further back in my opinion, but yeah, it's okay. This is so many Stalkers, he might just die. He might just die, guys. SCVs are being pulled here to repair. The Stalkers are going to blink in. One Stalker goes down. The Prism does get targeted. Does the auto turret get it? Yes, it does. The SCVs are repairing. Dude, he commits. Wow, the Marines are going to unload. The Raven will go down. The Stalker's blinking in deep. Gets the Raven as a result of that. Reaper on the other side skirmishing with the Stalker. So many SCVs are falling. Is this worthwhile damage for MAXPAX? I'd say yes, but he is losing a lot of Stalkers and Prism at the same time. So CLEM probably happy to, you know, yeah, we're taking a big hit. It hurts. It's really bad. But at least he's got the Prism and a bunch of Stalkers. Units lost tab, though, tells us a story of Protoss dominance so far in this game. Bit of mining time, of course, from the Terran harassment isn't accounted for there, but still, an 8-worker lead. Third base is on the way. The Stalkers continuing to just get through here. I'm surprised the SCVs didn't pull to block that. I think they could have forced that blink out a little bit earlier. CLEM's going to be quite frustrated dealing with this. The Marauder and the Marine taking big damage. At least a few more Stalkers do go down, but... Oh, there we go. Does blink away. Gets one more SCV as well. 6 more SCVs go down. That's a total of 15 workers dead. Problem. In this scenario, Protoss can squeeze in probes. Robo-Bay, third base is coming up, charges coming up, so they're progressing. And yeah, you're trading expensive Stalkers for economic damage, but it's totally fine. You can do moves like that. Only loses shields for another SCV. The Observer sees everything. There's no third command center. There is a 13 worker lead that is growing with every second, and Terran is stuck in his base. This is a very good early game for MAXPAX. Just doesn't care about the eBay block that much, takes the third, builds 2 batteries, deflects the Reaper Hellion with minimal losses, and takes control with Blink Stalkers. This is a textbook PvT opening for MAXPAX in a... Well, it's a textbook handling, I would say, of an awkward position with that expansion being forced where it was. Stalkers looking for any drops sneaking out. Prism on the right side. Gonna get the Zealot drop ready. CLEM's looking rather all in on 2 base. He scans, expecting an Observer, does not find one. Where is that Observer, guys? Oh, it's just outside of scan range. It's actually further north than he thought. Oh, that's really unfortunate for CLEM. Zealot drop goes in, sees the move out. Uh-oh. It is a move out SCV pool, but Colossus is usually the best thing against an SCV pool. As long as it stutter steps back, it can shave off those SCVs so quickly from range. Stalkers stay a little bit far forward here for MAXPAX. Does lose one of them. The Zealot drop goes into the main base. The Prism's going to try and fly away. The Widowman's try to target it. They aren't quite able to connect. Bunkers are going down. Viking will deal with the Prism. He force fields there in panic. MAXPAX, calm down, buddy. You don't want to be force fielding like that, do you? The Zealots charge in. Not a big fan of that charge. I think MAXPAX going a bit too far forward here. I get he wanted to engage early rather than late, but I mean, this third base is going to have to be given up no matter what. I'm surprised he hasn't rebuilt pylons either. I guess he figures I'm about to lose a lot of units. We might as well just try and fight this out. There's not that much Marine Marauder here. There's no real rally coming across the map because the Zealots are killing everything on the other side. The probes will have to pull away. He's got to keep the Colossus alive. Extended thermal ats and the second Colossus are about to pop out. The Zealots and Prism on the other side of the map have been dealt with, or at least the Zealots have. The Prism, not so much. It's come back. It's warped in a Zealot flank. The Colossus goes forward and gets itself killed, but I think it's worth it because the Stalker Zealot comes from both sides, kills the tank. A new Colossus is out. Extended Thermal Lance is almost there. CLEM is completely all in this game. MAXPAX just needs to calm down, make more Zealots, make a few more Stalkers, and hang on and survive. He's almost got enough gas for another Colossus to start as well, which would be legendary. To open in a few more Zealots. The Extended Thermal Lance is there. CLEM is going to tap out of this game, and MAXPAX is going to take game 1. All right, guys. Game 2. Bottom left side, MAXPAX, Hero, White Rabbit. Top right is CLEM. And we'll see if CLEM takes some more defensive stats. He really took the fight to MAXPAX in that last game, and MAXPAX parried all of his blows. I like that CLEM committed to it. I think it's good to put the Protoss on notice, test them. 1 or 2 little mistakes here or there, and that game starts to slide away into CLEM's favor. MAXPAX was just a bit too clean, and he already checks for a proxy barracks behind the natural. He's on his toes after game 1. Double gas here again for CLEM. I'm really thinking about the matchup between these two and where CLEM's head is. Because it's so funny. It's very hard for me to figure out what exactly it is that CLEM gets so frustrated about. Because all the things that most Terrans get angry about, it really feels like CLEM has the ability to get through those situations without it causing as much trouble. But it's the fact that it's almost like if he gets forced into a style of gameplay that he doesn't enjoy, over a long enough period of time, he just like cracks it, gets mad. Is he trying to build a command center? Oh, he wanted to block him. You're trapped in here with me! Okay, so he traps him inside. That SCV, of course, has to go back. The factory is now building. SCV is going to go build that second depot. Ready point SCV. Most players would just repair the ready point SCV to 10, 15 hit points and then mine. Clem will never do that. Instead, he will micro that SCV away from the probe like his life depends on it. Recall on the probe. I think the recall should have waited a few seconds. What you do, guys, is if you move the probe up behind here and then recall 2 seconds later, the Reaper runs to here before seeing the recall, delays the Reaper getting to your base by about 3 or 4 seconds. Why is that a good move? Because it allows you to send this probe to the natural without exposing getting it killed by the Reaper. Get out of there, bro. Get out of there. These probes out in the open. Oh, he does react quickly, but okay, it does save him. Good micro for MAXPAX. I think what pace are you running 15 to 20Ks at the moment? Nothing crazy. I mean, I'm not really race running. I'm just trying to get my 300 kilometers in 30 days. So there are times where I'm you know, early on in the running challenge where I was like, bam, there was like a few sub 4 minute kilometers, which I was like, heck yeah, damn, I'm so fast. And I'm realizing that maintaining that like the higher edge of pace while doing just so much quantity without enough rest days is very hard. And it's a lot more about just slow, constant quality. I'd say that there's often runs where I'm stopping to walk for a little bit if I'm not feeling 100%. There's been a lot of runs while I'm sick. There's been a lot of runs. Thankfully I've not had the runs, though I did almost poop my pants one time. But I made it to the public restroom. And a very clean, brand new public restroom, which I was very happy about. But that was yeah, overall, probably 5.5 for the faster paces. Oh, actually, a lot of them are about low 5s. Like a low 5-minute pace. Like sometimes about, I'd say 5 minutes, 5 seconds, up to about 5:30 for the majority of them. But then there'll be like 1 or 2 kilometers either walking or jogging real slow at 6:30. And some days my legs are dead, I've got no energy, and it's like a 6.5-minute pace. Maybe with a few kilometers closer to 5.5. But it's very up and down because I've never run this distance in such a compressed period before. Stalker goes down, does get the Reaper kill, but this is already bad, losing one of your first gateway units. The sentry does not want to die here. Oh, Clem's gonna get it. I thought he would break the vision by getting to the high ground, but that Cyclone got to the ramp just in time to keep the lock-on vision. And this is a really nice opening pressure for Clem. He'll pick it up and leave soon. Obviously, he should stop rallying these Marines to the front now. I think that's a slight mistake there. You're talking kilometers, not miles, guys. I'm not sure you guys can... times by 1.6 for the mile conversion. I am not... what's that guy's name who got the sub 2 marathon? I'm not that guy. Swahe? It's Swahe? Robo's on the way. Blink as well. Extra gateway. I also saw that there was a woman who broke the record for a 250-mile ultramarathon. She did in like 55 hours or something, 56 hours. Barely slept for 2.5 days. She looked fresh afterwards as well. I was like, what the fudge? Insane endurance. Banshee coming in, getting a few probes down. Marine tank on the front as well. Another sentry! Oh, dude, that Banshee. I thought the Banshee was going to slide into the natural, but he joins up on the frontal push. Clem! I mean, MAXPAX should break this, and he has the numbers too. He will get rid of the tank, but he gets a second shot off just before it dies. Yes, the Banshee goes down. Oh, no, it doesn't. The Marines! He scans and kills the Observer. And now the Marines can attack. He can focus the Nexus. I don't think he can kill it, though. But there's another Banshee. It's picking off so many Stalkers. There's another tank. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I can't believe this! Clem chose violence today. I thought after the game 1 he would be a bit more conservative. I'm so sorry for talking about running and answering a question from chat during this build-up. What an amazing play this was for Clem. Oh, I always forget how powerful the DPS is on that Banshee. You know, you think of it as a harassment unit, and in your head you start to get, like, this is what its job is. He's gonna fly past, go in the natural, and force you to split your attention. But there was a battery in the main in the natural. And did Clem know this? He didn't know this. So this is such a legendary choice, and you could say it's partially luck, But there's Stalkers in the main that aren't on the front, right? Because he knows there's Banshees coming. So MAXPAX is like, I gotta be ready for Banshees. So he's got Stalkers that are out of position, but he's also built 2 shield batteries that don't even get to take part in the fight. Because you think he's gonna pick up a probe or 2, Stalkers come, he'll run off to the left. But he's like, no, this is a pincer. Banshee from the left, Marine Tank Cyclone from the right. Good luck dealing with both at the same time. This is why Banshees can be so good for allowing your Marine Tank to get forward on the map. And then it was going to get cleaned up and the Nexus would have survived, and Protoss can explode economically after this. But this is a huge move. Sniping that Observer. Oh my gosh. Because when there's no Banshee, no tank, the Stalkers can just pick off the Marines. They've got a range advantage, faster movement speed. They can basically just pick you off and take almost no damage in return. They're getting shot by tanks and Banshees. As you can see, they get wrecked. Wow. I thought MAXPAX would have been safe on such a big map. What a great build order, guys. He was very committed. He doesn't have, stim or shields or anything started. But this is really good. If CLEM failed this game, it means he would have committed 2 games extreme aggression and not had any payoff. And then it's probably a 3-0 for MAXPAX. Now, MAXPAX has to have respect for CLEM's aggro. All right, guys. Game 3, MAXPAX in the top right. I thought this is where CLEM would pivot macro. CLEM's like, mate, I'll pivot macro when I'm dead. And guess what? MAXPAX checked for it last game. He doesn't check for it this game. It's the barracks inside the natural. Oh, wow. Oh me, oh my. Wow. Okay, guys, double gas on the way there. We were just talking about long distance running, guys. Well, right now, CLEM is sprinting towards the finish line. We'll see if it works or not. Serenity in our live chat just said they've run 40 miles from Crested Butte to Aspen over a couple mountain passes. Oh, that's their second ultra marathon coming up this summer. Good luck, mate. 40 miles. Okay, so that's not quite a double marathon. Okay, that's like, yeah, that's what I call a sane ultra marathon, right? It's like it's a lot longer than a marathon, but it's not like these 300 friggin' kilometer weirdos and stuff. All right, Probe's gonna dance around there. SCV's gonna try and get the bunker up. MAXPAX. I personally always feel like this isn't good. What CLEM's doing here. When I see this, I do not care. I literally just go build a battery and go back to the main before the Reaper kills you. Oh, we're a bit late on the I think this probe dies unless you run left. Ah, he stays on the low ground. That's actually really cute. So we might go for the SCV snipe while the Reaper's in the main. I kind of feel like I don't care about this pressure when I'm playing Protoss, but that's because I don't play against CLEM, I guess. Oh, you know who else doesn't care about this pressure? Oh my god, that probe is like, where are you going? Where are you going? Come back, CLEM. Why are you running away, CLEM? What you running for, boy? What you running for? Oh my gosh, you so rarely see that. The probe surrounding the Reaper. This is a disaster for CLEM. Even if you don't get the surround, I was saying I don't actually think it does that much unless the Protoss like slips up under the pressure and makes mistakes. But that was a shutdown, and the probe chases him to his base, and now he's killing the SCV. He's building the bunker. Oh man, he's dead. He's dead, guys. CLEM doesn't even GG. He just leaves. Oh no. I didn't even finish my thought. The reason why I don't think this build's that scary is because you keep building probes, but you just rally them into the main. I think it's annoying if you don't realize what's happening until the Stalker is already an Adept. If you've half built an Adept and then you see a bunker loads up with a Reaper and starts shooting you from there, it's good. And that's actually why I would argue, you guys let me know, maybe there's a reason for this. I think you shouldn't build the bunker there. I think you should build the bunker here. You know what I mean? Like, so the Nexus doesn't have a lot of vision, and if you build it further back, you're okay. I also think you should wait a little bit longer. Keep the SCV hidden. You should wait another 10 seconds. Let him build the Nexus. Like, just stand here with your SCV in vision. Don't show what you're doing. I think he was hoping to block the Nexus from going down. Yeah, okay. Oh, so CLEM wanted to block the Nexus to really disrupt MAXPAX opening. So you're not only dealing with a Reaper, you don't have a Nexus. Because I was saying what I don't like about this build is like a bunker here is not a deal. As long as you know about it early enough to throw down a battery, you can just rally Stalkers, deal with the battery, keep building probes, rally them to the main, and you're just in a good spot. Like, it feels like the barracks having to float all the way home, especially on such a big map, is really bad for Terran. But we can see Clem thought he would be able to block the Nexus in time. I don't know if his barracks was a second or two late, or what, or just MAXPAX build was too tight, or maybe just you're never actually able to get that block if the Protoss build order is tight. Either way, it didn't work out for him, and a bit of miss micro for Clem on the EU server. No excuses about that lag. I mean, that was just a bit too greedy. He wanted that last hit on that orange hit point probe. Loses the Reaper. MAXPAX is now up 2-1. Alright, guys. MAXPAX up 2-1 after that devastating surround on the Reaper. Absolutely ridiculous there. Clem's going to be a bit tilted by that. Like I said, when Clem gets tilted in these games, like it sometimes feels like he's just bashing his head against the wall a little bit. I don't see a reason for him to be so frustrated. Like, I don't mind that opening for him, but yeah, definitely the block on the Nexus not going down made it really hard for himself because he reveals what he's doing way too early, and then losing the Reaper is just insult to injury. It looks like he's going to play 1-Rex Expand now on Tourmaline, which is not a bad call, but I feel like that previous game might have been a better choice for it. I think for him, he was like screw playing Standard on that giant map. So I would have liked to see him play 1-Rex Expand on Old Republic. Would have been cool. See how he plays on a bigger map. Tourmaline, he might feel more confident playing to the mid and late game, though, against MAXPAX. All right, so it's Cybercore into Nexus, back over there. Command Center, you got 400 minerals. You want to put it down, but this probe says no. Just, there's a child on the train tracks. You're not allowed to drive the train there. Yeah, you got to clear the probe out of that area before you can place the Command Center. Got a nice little delay there for MAXPAX. SCV is going to come in, confirm he's not getting cheesed, and Clem will gladly go home. He's already preparing the Blink Stalker wall off. Not the best map to be blinking into this main anyway. But having factory starport here, another building there, makes that very difficult for MAXPAX to find any damage with the aggro. So this is cute, guys. You might be wondering, why is the Reaper just chilling there? It's because he's like, I'm going to let you leave, and then I'm going to jump in. How well does he time it out? I think he's waiting for probes to transfer to the natural as well. It's so funny watching pro gamers like know their timings exactly. Probes transfer. Reaper's thinking about going in. Nexus is finished. And he goes for it. There's an Adept at home. It's not quite in position. And that Reaper's going to circle. SCV on the natural will finish it. He could load that inside if he's quick enough, but no. Uncharacteristic for Clem. Could have loaded that in the command center and then unloaded it on the other side. It's normally what we do there. Oh, he's going to lose the Reaper as well. Oh, what is going on with Clem, guys? See what I'm talking about? There is a thing that happens deep into every season, every map pool, where it does feel like Clem will just... You'll have these moments where he still plays excellent TVP, and there's other moments where it's like, oh, Clem's making mistakes, and he looks a little annoyed, you know? And you're just like, oh. And it feels like, to me, from the outside, he gets frustrated with the matchup, and then his performance drops. For most people, it's the other way around. I'm sure I'm missing something in between in the ladder games and other tournaments that I don't end up casting where he loses in the quarterfinals or earlier. But it's just kind of like a funky thing from the outside where I'm like, it's a little uncharacteristic, you know? All these early games a little bit cleaner than this. Extra 2 gateways and a robo on the way. So 3 gate robo, 3 gas. Very typical for MAXPAX. And he does make a 3-gate blink look almost as scary as a 4-gate blink. That's MAXPAX specialty. You know, parting was always like extremely sick micro, but also he'd cut corners to hit the sharpest, fastest, most brutal 4-gate blink you'd ever seen. MAXPAX does the most casual, middle-of-the-road 3-gate blink that feels like it could be a completely standard macro game, but also still is just executed with such elegance. It's very difficult to stop. Probe there, dances away. He's going to go take that third. Banshee moves out. Oh, misses the Banshee with the Adept. And that is unfortunate. It's Cloak Banshee coming across this map. Banshees have been such a big part of Maru's TVP over the last year. He's heavily influenced the meta. Big thank you, Shadow Drizzt, for the huge sub wave. Thank you, dude. Duderino and Bolmoose with some subs in there as well. Thank you, everyone else who's been subbing. If I didn't give you a shout out, I want to say a big thanks. Banshee's going to come in. Where's the second observer? It's just popped. No, it's the first observer, but he's left it at home. So MAXPAX is ready for the Banshee in the natural, but not in the main. Banshee comes in. He's pretty quick to respond. I always wonder why even pull probes away if you're going to leave half of them mining, including the gas probes. Am I crazy for that? I mean, that actually worked out fine. It probably saved him 1 or 2. Just for me, that seems wild. Oh, what happened over here? Stalker drop comes in. Did he just kill a tank? No, it looks like he just got 1 or 2 SC... Oh, 4 SCVs. Banshee! No, Clem! Too distracted by the War Prism, loses 4 SCVs to a Stalker drop, moves his Marines to defend, and then loses his Cloaked Banshee. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, that's very awkward. Unnecessary as well. These Stalkers can blink in and pick off these Marines as long as the Prism's close by for safety. He should do it. He blinks backwards. I think, was that a misclick? That felt odd. Stalker's pretty tanky. They can take quite a few Marine shots. Clem needs to calm down and untilt himself right now. I feel like we're watching him on a slant, you know? I feel like this screen should just be like this the whole time, just to reflect. Like, this is how Clem's seeing the screen right now, guys. This is what the rage makes you see. It's very hard to play StarCraft like that. I'm like, no, you're doing good, dude. Your aggression's been pretty nice. Like, the game 1, yeah, it didn't work out, but he put so much pressure on MAXPAX. MAXPAX just happened to defend perfectly. Game 2 made it work out. Game 3, some really big unforced errors. Looks like probes have more speed than Banshees. Yeah, well, it's just there was other probes here and here that the Banshee could still just stop to shoot. That's what I mean. I mean, like, surely, shouldn't you run all the probes? But I guess in that case, it actually did make the Banshee. And because these probes dip in and out of the gas, it's kind of awkward focusing gas probes. So it actually probably saved him 1 or 2. I like immediately was like, yeah, it seemed to work out. 4th and 5th barracks is on the way. 3rd Nexus is not early. Oh, sorry, this is the 4th Nexus. 4th Nexus is early. 6.5 minutes. Dark Shrine. Oh, the mid-game Dark Templar. Clem hates this. Clem hates this because he is the best player in the world at constantly dropping mules. And he will very rarely have extra energy sitting on those orbitals. So he's actually the weakest against this move. And look at this, guys. The Prism on one side, the Observer on the other. And MAXPAX is well aware of what you're trying to pull off with this little double drop looking to flank him. Widowmine drop gets spotted. Does MAXPAX intercept? He can intercept. And he reacts a bit slowly, I think. Prism and Medevac both spot each other. Clem immediately turns around. 3rd base going out right now. Let's find himself a single Stalker over here. Couple Zealots and Sentries. There's only 2 Colossus, but they will have +1 extended thermal lance. 3rd Colossus is also getting chronoed. Zealot charges in, gets itself bopped. And there's 2 Observers on his base as well. It feels like there's almost map hacks for MAXPAX right now. And Clem kind of sitting in his dark corner, unable to figure out exactly what's happening. He's trying to get some map control, but with the Observers watching him, he's like, what's going on? There's very few things more tilting than knowing that your opponent has invisible scouting units seeing everything you're doing, that you're like, why is he not moving forward with Stalkers to figure out where I am? Because he can see everything already. And Clem needs to sense this. All right, the Colossus are behind the grass. I think Clem has to turtle to lake him. This is a 5th base, though. Clem might think that's a 4th. That is a 5th base for Protoss. MAXPAX says, hey, this guy looks scared. I'm going to give him about as much respect as a scared Terran ever gets. And Clem sees the 4th fully saturated. At least sees that it is saturated. 5th there as well. And Clem right now has to have urgency in his play. And the question is, does he show that with a push? Does he show that with a second eBay and Armory, a Ghost Academy, a second Starport? Like, what is the play? Second Starport. Okay. Vikings ready for the Prism drop. He will deal with it, but big attack on the left at the same time. Tanks are in a good spot, though. Oh, and the Marine Marauder is well placed. Yeah, the Zealot Stalk is going to try and split in. MAXPAX causing some issues, but nothing too crazy. And actually, there's a nice little bio attack on the other side. Is it enough, though? It's a good amount of Zealots. Good starter step for Clem. Guns down most of those Zealots. Last Zealot in the main goes down. Only 4 SCVs fell. He's put back on gas already. Comes multitasking. Makes him so good in these sort of situations. Handling an army on the front. Units poking in. Gets a double drop at the same time. So many players fall apart in these scenarios. This is where Clem excels. And it's this stage of the game is where he picks Bjorn apart when he's playing Protoss and Bjorn's playing Terran. But Is MAXPAX able to leverage that same sort of set of advantages that Clem does so well against the other Terran players? Because I think part of it is tied to Clem's knowledge of how to pick apart a Terran player. The other part is just how fast he is compared to anyone else. And I do think Clem is faster and a little bit better mechanically than MAXPAX. MAXPAX is probably the fastest, like, cleanest Protoss in the world. Or even when, like, Clem plays Protoss, I think it's his decision-making that maybe lets him down, but his control is next level. Pack of Stalkers and Zealots ready here for the double drop. Dude. Extra Robo goes down, extra Gateways, 2 more Nexus. Double drop comes in. I like the Zealots warping in right on top of the bio units. That's super cute. Stalkers had already used Blink though, so only 1 medevac goes down. 1 does escape for now. Starts rotating. Big push through the middle at the same time. Command Center lifts up. DTs have not really found any damage so far, guys. It's the first time MAXPAX has really remembered he even made a Dark Shrine. The bio tank Ghost looking really good here, and the Colossus do fade away on that right side, but MAXPAX separated from his own base, and Clem picking him apart in the back with this drop. These Stalkers and Zealots derping out. The bio moving forwards. Another Colossus gets found away from the Warp Prism. The Warp Prism also just got gunned down by the Marines. The drop in the main finally gets cleaned up. The DT comes in, but the Liberator deals with it after just 2 SCV losses. It's a big bio army. Plenty of Marines to clear the Zealots as long as they keep the Colossus off their backs. And that's exactly what the Viking tank is for. The Marines running away from these Colossus. The Colossus move in to focus the Marines, but that means they do get peppered down by the tanks and the Marauders. And there's enough bio left over to make this a very costly trade for MAXPAX, who should be able to push this back, but just barely. And I think Clem really happy with that trade. Gets rid of all the Colossus, takes out a ton of these valuable units. Stalker's looking to chase him, but an EMP landing on top. An Observer clears... A scan, sorry, clears the Observer. MAXPAX still on 5 bases, but only 63 probes against 64 SCVs of Terran. 2-2s on the way for Terran, whilst 2-1s already finished for Protoss. There are 2 Robos, 1 on the third, 1 on the natural, to get those Disruptors into the fight very quickly. But the DTs, I wonder if he did them earlier, would it have done anything? I believe that turret was up on the natural much earlier in this game, so kind of hard to find a way to do anything. Don't estimate Hero. He's not even here. Did I call him Hero, guys? Sorry, we were casting Hero earlier today. This is, of course, MAXPAX, not Hero. 2 best Protoss players in the world. T's running into the base at the same time. The Disruptor does keep Clem back just momentarily. The T's have already busted through this side. I think he killed a bunker, did he? I'm not sure. DTs need to blink out of there. Bit of an overcommitment here from MAXPAX. The Disruptor shots are needing time to recharge. At the same time, there's a drop on this left side that's really keeping MAXPAX's APM busy. 10 SCVs go down, but the DTs have died, and those were valuable units. MAXPAX could not afford to just lose those. If he kept the DTs alive, and I guess he did save 1, then maybe it would have been okay, but it's just so tough. The Disruptor would have been huge if it connected with that flank. Always a Disruptor coming from a surprising direction is the most powerful Disruptor. We've talked about this many times over the years. Splash damage that suddenly kind of wanders in from the flank when your screen's focused in a different direction is a very different story. Pig, you said Protoss. Best Protoss, yes. Yeah, MAXPAX is the best mechanical speed micro. Clean play, clean micro. Hero has moments where he is the best in the world, but you gotta remember, he is an Archon with that Gold League player he merged with many years ago. The Disruptors get focused down. The Bio's gonna gun down the Disruptors. MAXPAX does not have the numbers to do anything here, and Clem ties up the series and forces Game 5. Alright guys, Game 5 to decide the entire series. MAXPAX at the bottom right, Clem in the top left. And what a fun series this has been. I really like these kind of action-packed series. Yes, there's games where MAXPAX and Clem go back and forth knife fighting, but it often feels when these two play, it's a little bit more like, kind of like GSL. You know, the Koreans just kill each other sometimes. Like, they just don't give each other any room to breathe, and they're happy to gamble and just get in each other's face. MAXPAX and Clem feels like maybe not as much of a prepared build order version of that, more of like a mechanical knife fight in terms of just minute execution, stacking up so quickly to find the winner. And this has been a real great display of that so far. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you guys have as well. Nexus before Cybercore. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it, especially against the 1-Rax expand like this is, and it's a Marine first. So MAXPAX doing a greedy build against a very defensive build for Clem. Excellent opening for the Protoss. I guess I don't get to leave messages before buying subs. Weird. Oh, really? Did they not give you like a message? That's so weird. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't do that. Thank you very much, Devil Archon, for the subs, dude. Your messages are highlighted in my mind, in chat, no matter what. Guys in the chat, someone was asking, how do you fight Thor Hellbat as Zerg? What clears that? Spellcasters are king. Whether it be Blinding Clouds or Neuroparasites on Thors, Banelings are really good against Hellbats as well. Any mixture of anything else does the trick. The noob-friendly comp, though, against everything Terran is Ultras, in my opinion. And if you can use Blinding Cloud plus Ultra, oh, very nice. Alright, guys, so this is very interesting because Clem, he did end up SCV scouting, but otherwise it's very defensive. He's going to go Cyclone here. Maru loved these builds for a while there. I've never been the biggest fan of the immediate Tech Lab Cyclone just because the reactor, you need like a lot of gas. Wait. Oh, guys, Clem messed his build up. He's built a star. You're not meant to build a starport this early. Guys, did Clem forget how to play StarCraft? This is crazy. You're not meant to build a starport this early with a Tech Lab opening. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Or is this like time? How odd. Maybe he's just going to go for a really quick 4 Marine Cyclone drop. Ah, okay. Maybe this you know, I imagine this is intentional. And it times out very perfectly to get the medevac on 100 gas exactly. So clearly intentional. But it does mean you obviously lose a little bit of mining time from your natural. Nothing too crazy as it was just upgrading to orbital. It's not like you lost SCV production time. Okay, guys, we've got another gateway there. So it's 3 gateway robo. Extra pylon goes down. No third gas just yet. Extra barracks goes down. Medevac moving forwards. Tech Lab on the starport. We are going to see that 4 Marine Cyclone drop. But honestly, I think the 3rd Nexus is a soft counter to this build. The trick is for MAXPAX, don't lose this Adept or Stalker. If you lose those, then the Marines and the Cyclone can get really out of control. But if you can just get like 4 Stalkers together, get a volley on the medevac early, you will be fine. He hasn't seen the medevac until now. Stalker's very quick to respond though, almost instantly. Attacks his own Nexus there, MAXPAX. Says, it's alright, I feel bad for you playing the inferior Terran race. I will help you out there. Cyclone gets a probe and mining time, takes no damage. This is good control for Clem. He hasn't overcommitted to it. That being said, the reactor has only now come up, which in of itself does make you kind of suffer a little bit. The Adept is going to come in, cancels the shade there, realizing the siege tank was watching. Chat, if the Earth isn't flat, how could Pig be here? Globalist belief would have Australia upside down. Pig would fall off. That is true. From the upside down over here. I don't know if you guys heard. We are, as Australians, doing a class action lawsuit against Stranger Things for not paying any what's it called, royalties to Australia after literally stealing our entire culture with the upside down. We're very upset about that. Thought we should at least get a little bit of credit and a bit of the funds, but no. Trying to be sneaky with this drop, but it's such a low impact drop, the Cyclone Marine, and oh, he waits for MAXPAX to move out. He doesn't know MAXPAX has moved out. He's going to wait for MAXPAX to get in his face. MAXPAX turns around. He's playing cautious. I guess he knows that the drop could still be in this bottom left because of this Stalker. This Stalker's really good for MAXPAX. And he does have a battery here, so we can always like warp in and react if need be. Robo Bay's on the way. 3 more gateways as well. No 4th and 5th barracks just yet. Oh, don't lose the Raven. Okay, Raven takes a volley. And that, of course, will prompt him to move in. But these Stalkers just warped in. He already had 3 at home. Which means I think this drop is not going to last long. Ooh, really good reaction there by MAXPAX. But Clem, of course, keeps his units alive. And he's forced to recall, which is kind of legendary. And with no vision on the high ground, you can't blink up there until these gateways are done. Another shield battery. Dude, how many shield batteries do you have? Clem's got to be so annoyed thinking like, dude, what is this? Gonna get the drop out of there? We'll take another volley from the Stalkers if they blink though, which is always painful. That drop will make its way home. Raven has repaired at the same time. Units lost time. Still very close between both sides. 2 probes in the depth for just 2 Marines now. But Clem, his 3rd command center, Just started about 6:15, 6:10. And of course, it's bio, it's mines, constant production. He only built one siege tank, which is why he's got a good Marauder bio count. On the other side, Colossus, number 1, is about to emerge. Extended Thermal Lance has just started. Raven takes a few shots from the Stalkers. 6 Zealots, 1 Sentry, 3 more Zealots warping in, only 1 Colossus. But look at that. Clem was going for a kind of low ground ledge siege. He commits pretty hard. He does get a few auto turrets down, forces MAXPAX back with those, but the Raven gets sniped. I think MAXPAX probably A-okay with that trade so far. The tank's going to move down here. He wants to just set the tank up down here, try and go into that main base. The army's on the low ground. Recall is not available. Remember, he already used recall just before. The Stalkers try to take care of the tank. It does end up going down. But look at that. Yes, some units get left on the low ground, but the guys on the high ground are going to trade pretty nicely, pick off a few pylons as well. The pro pull away is pretty clean, though, and as the army rotates back, dude, that army's so far away on that left side. Stalker back to the battery, trying to buy time. He also wants to blink on these medevacs to stop them escaping. He's unable to, though. And Clem there, making the most of a very kind of tight situation. Excuse me. 4th Nexus is on the way, on the left side. 4th and 5th barracks are coming up. You could see here, 2nd starport already on a reactor. 5th barracks very late. Kind of scrappy game. The macro's a little bit unusually, not messy, but just like a few little tiny mistakes here or there for Clem. I'd like the repair on that Widow Mine to stop those guys taking it out. Clem needs to get in front of this. He can't be staying so far back, but he's only got 2 Vikings, and he's very wary of the Colossus. A few Widow Mines do get picked off, but I think with good Marauder Viking control, he can hold on. Widow Mine does survive. Behind this, no probing for MAXPAX. He's got the 4th coming, but he's just transferring probes from his main and natural. Once again, it's the classic not transferring probes off these patches, even though they were just about to run out. MAXPAX and Hero, both big fans of that. 8.5 minutes, guys. You should always drop your main down to 8 workers. That patch will mine out in the next 20 seconds as well. Super sloppy. Should have transferred 5 more workers from the main. Ghost Academy goes up in the main base. It's all about the 4 Vikings. The power spike is about to drastically change in this game. The power level, I should say. Ooh, the Stalkers get a medevac, though. Colossus pick off a few Marine Marauder. MAXPAX really needs to use this moment right here, because when 4 more Vikings come out, your Colossus, your Prism are just going to disappear. There's about to be 11 Vikings. Like, this 3rd Colossus is actually almost worthless. Unless you can pick him apart with multi-prong and get him out of position. And look at that. Clem sends some Vikings up north, because he knows the Prism's going to work that angle. Oh, I love this choice. He knows that Prism is going to go towards the natural. They love coming in on this angle and dropping here and then going into the main. Zealots on the left, ready for a run by there. Stalkers being a nuisance. The Viking count is more than enough for dealing with this. Are these Vikings in position, though, to deal with the Prism? The Stalkers kind of dancing back and forth. Clem notices the Prism, but MAXPAX noticed it first and already gets out of there. This is huge. Activillain's in the chat. He's in my house right now, guys. We're about to go get noodles when this series is over. I love that he's in my chat right now. It's hilarious. Vikings take down the Warp Prism. Bio over here cleaning up the Zealots as well. We've got the Stalkers coming forwards at the same time. The Marauders starting to get focused, but no, they stim forwards and they say, get out of my base, get out of my face. Clem has a massive, massive army, and you're still building Colossus. Oh no, I don't think building more Colossus does this. He's investing all of his money into a dead-end tech tree. His 2-1 is nowhere near finished, which means Terran has a +1 armor upgrade advantage. The Prism is nowhere to be seen. It's gone down. The Colossus, they get a good volley on the Marines, but then the Colossus are disappearing. I don't think they're going to get any more shots off. The Zealots do charge in. Pretty good angle on the Zealots. You can see the Bio just stands its ground, and anytime the Colossus come forwards, the Vikings venture forwards. There's still 10 Vikings on this map, and Clem has the better army. And I think MAXPAX just believing in the power of the Colossus for way too long. If he stopped at 2 Colossus, pivoted Disruptors, I think this would be a much more interesting game. But as it is, Clem went very early double starport. There was a moment where he was getting harassed by the Colossus and it looked really scary. And then bam, you've got 11, 12 Vikings. Those 4 Colossus are dead weight. They just get hard counted. You know, we do forget about it now that we're getting closer and closer to a year into this patch, but those Vikings are 25 minerals cheaper now. And even before that change, I really feel like Colossus struggled against a heavy Viking player. I'm kind of upset that MAXPAX kept committing to the Colossus there. Sometimes I see players do this in these scenarios. I guess it just tells you he didn't know that that second starport was down this early. We knew this. We knew this wasn't going to be, oh, look, he's down on Vikings, but he might slowly catch up. This was a, no. You're on a very severe limit. There are 4 Vikings building from very early on, and this is going to go from 2 Vikings to 6 to 10 in just 1 minute. 1 minute of building 4 Vikings at a time, you're going to go up 8 Vikings. Like, that is such a drastic change. It's 30 seconds per Viking. You're building 4 at a time. That's a massive change. Clem gets control of this game, shuts it down in that regard. I think he did a really good job with his earlier push, kind of rotating around, getting a bunch of good damage, and just being annoying as possible. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think MAXPAX chasing to the low ground earlier was a mistake? Was that a big doo-doo? Should he have just pulled back to the high ground, given up the gateway and the cybercore and defended? There was only 1 tank with the push. I think maybe. Since if recall was available, what he did was fine, because then he could just recall these guys in the main. Because he couldn't, I think it did allow a little bit more damage, a bit more disruption. It wasn't crazy damage either way. I think this was still playable from here for MAXPAX for sure. He's got that early 4th up. Well, not early, but decently timed 4th. 3rd's not landed yet. This still looks like a really competitive game at this point, but I would have loved to see those disruptors earlier and that tech pivot from MAXPAX, or for him to commit much harder to this almost like a timing attack with the 3 Colossus and just go and try to finish the game there. Either way, GG, well played. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you find yourselves enjoying all of the games here on Pigcast and you want to throw some extra support, throw some dollary dues my way, check out the link down below in the description as well, somewhere here on the screen, to check out my Patreon. There's a bunch of unique perks you can get, and you can join all of these lovely people here in supporting the channel, allowing us to continue casting StarCraft through 2026 and beyond. A massive thanks to Neverless, Al Leviathan of the channel, Peden N, Dragos, Aranoko, HR, conductors of the D-Town Express, and everybody else here, past, present, and future, who's supported the channel, as well as everyone just watching and having a good time. I hope you're all having a lovely day. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.